what I want to run through is how you can connect a reply that's received in Pitchit to GoHighLevel so that you don't have to deplatform and start using Pitchit as your CRM. You can stay inside of GoHighLevel and just make sure that every single time that we receive a reply, it gets reflected inside of GoHighLevel. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose Pitchit, and the event is going to be new reply received. We do have other triggers here, but I've shot other videos on how to choose those. Today we're just going to talk about how you can sync new replies. And then when it comes to choosing your account, if you don't have one already, click connect a new account. You can find your Zapier API key for Pitchit, going to your Pitchit account, choosing your name, and then going to integrations and clicking copy, and then going back over and simply pasting it here and clicking yes. That will then take you back to Zapier, and it will have synced the account, and you're basically good to go. So we're going to move on to the next step now that we've chosen the Pitchit account. The next thing we have to do is tell Pitchit which campaigns you want to sync replies to. And so, or from, I should say. Now, this is important because inside of Pitchit, we do support agencies, or I should say like a hierarchy of accounts. So you certainly can say, I just want to sync every single reply from every single campaign, which is what we're going to do in this video. That's what I'm going to do. But we also make it available to select a specific campaign. And that's important if you're using GoHighLevel and you have a bunch of sub accounts. And if you're using Pitchit and you also are taking advantage of what we call groups. So you've added a bunch of your customers to Pitchit and you've put them into groups. So you can like basically create a group, and then you can tell us which customers, by choosing from all the active people on your team, which customers you basically want to add to a group. And so it does allow you to actually create like an agency model, and then each workflow that you've built can have a specific audience that also only belongs to that group, so that when you go to launch the workflow campaign, it will be separated from the other groups. And that's necessary if you want sub-accounts inside of GoHighLevel to only see activity from specific campaigns in Pitchit. And so if you have campaign X in Pitchit that's a workflow tied to sub-account X in GoHighLevel, and then workflow Y is connected to sub-account Y, but workflow Z is connected to sub-account Y, then you can easily do that. So inside of Pitchit, you create a trigger to track campaigns Y and Z and all the replies received, and you would sync those to sub-account Y. But inside of campaign X, you would sync that to sub-account X. In this case, again, it's not needed for this particular use case, so I'm just going to select all campaigns, and I'm going to integrate all replies from all campaigns to just one GoHighLevel sub-account today. But at least you've now seen that there is the flexibility to do that if you ever want to. Now it looks like it's given us a sample lead in the test of John Wick. So we've received a reply from John Wick. The next thing is we're going to choose GoHighLevel. Now this tripped me up. Don't let it trip you up. GoHighLevel doesn't call it GoHighLevel. They actually call it Lead Connector. And that's because they're trying to let agencies white label the name. But don't let that confuse you, because it definitely got me a little bit confused when I started looking for GoHighLevel in the list of apps. Next thing is action event. Now keep in mind, with GoHighLevel, all the activities that happen on a specific deal don't live in the opportunity. The only thing you can do with an opportunity is basically change the stage of it. But if you want to add notes of activities you've done on a contact, all the contacts that live inside of a deal own the activity that happens on that deal. And so you need to actually post to the contact, not to the opportunity. The next part is to connect your lead connector account. Now this tripped me up too, because if you connect a new account, it asks for the API key and it gives you a link. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that link didn't work. It kept breaking. And then the other part that hung up is they have two different ways you can get an API key. One is the agency API key, and you need a pro account for that, and that's under settings API keys. I kept trying to use this one and it never worked. And then I was like creating more and more and more and just kept getting errors until I realized that the only thing that works with Zapier is a sub-account API key. So I clicked settings and I went to my sub-account and I just couldn't find the API key. And then I realized it's under the business profile and it's in a totally separate section. I don't know why they did that, but either way, don't let that trip you up. Copy the API key, paste it in, in, and then it will sync your lead connector account. The next part's a little bit easier. So under configure, all you have to do is basically map your data from Pitchit to GoHighLevel. So first name map, first name John, last name Wick. If you want the full name, you can just do first and then add a space and then do last. I don't have full name in this particular campaign, and I don't track full name and GoHighLevel either, so it's up to you. But if you do map that and you're sending leads to us with a full name, then Pitchit will store the full name. If you don't send it to us with a full name and you all of a sudden want one, just stack the first and last name and add a little space in between. That's an easy hack. Phone number, map to phone number, and then scroll down and mark the lead as true. And then the other part that's important, this is the actual integration part. We want to make sure that we actually track what was said in the reply. So we do keep track of reply text, and make sure you give it an actual subject. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a random piece of text and we don't know what the reply is going to be. It could just be like stop or something. And then you'll just be posting like a word stop in your contact and you won't know what that means. So give it some context. Tell GoHighLevel that this is the reply text, and then the reply text will paste in. Now, the reason that they ask you to map all this stuff is because if this lead, John Wick, doesn't already exist in GoHighLevel, then it's going to create one. And so it's important that you try to map it with all of the unique identifiers. I think I forgot to do email. And unique identifiers for GoHighLevel are phone number and email. So you want to make sure that you've got those both mapped if possible. One is definitely better than nothing. If you don't have any, it's probably just going to create a bunch of new contacts every single time someone replies in Pitchit, because it won't know how to identify who in GoHighLevel you're updating. And so it will add a contact, and that's probably not ideal. So now that you've synced this, we're going to click continue and we're going to do a quick test. Now, there's basically a contact living in GoHighLevel called John Wick, and if there's not, it will create one. And so I'm going to open up John Wick, I'm going to go to the notes section, and there should be a reply text, and there is, from Pitchit having been synced just about 10 seconds ago. So reply text, here's the reply text, date that it was received, and you can see from some of my other videos all the other tests that we've done in those videos as well. So this is basically where all the activity lives. Now you know how to connect GoHighLevel so that anytime a lead replies to one of your AI agents in Pitchit, it automatically syncs it back to GoHighLevel so you don't have to deplatform. Thanks.